Walk in. Jalas. We always, it's always a pleasure when we have our next guest in studio, because this man, he calls it like he sees it, without fear or favor. And he's here for an added reason, because the Kenya Film Classification Board, in conjunction with the French Embassy in Kenya, is organizing 2017 edition of the International Film Convention Kenya.
Wow.
IFC Kenya.
That's huge.
Yeah, the forum will run from the 15th, which is in tomorrow. Starts tomorrow, all the way to the 17th, Friday. And participants from all over the world, US, France, India, Kenya, Nigeria, South Africa, Uganda, you name it, they'll be here. And this is all in conjunction with the Embassy of France. And the European Union. Dr. Ezekiel Mutua, always a pleasure.
Before we go on, let us deal with the elephant in the room.
Well, let's welcome him to the show first.
Karibu sana.
And I thought, thank you,
Karibu sana, Daktari.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure to see you.
Daktari.
And a great job you're doing. The Slay Queen thing was the hit. You like the lion? The Slay Queen. Oh, it redefined Slay Queen. You've demonized the Slay Queen. Slay Queen was supposed to be a tough, bright woman.
Yes.
You made it look like a zombie. Now nobody wants to be called as Slay Queen. They have run out of town.
3 stones, Manenos.
And a Sophie. Babe.
Okay, Daktari, this gay lion thing, can we finish? We finish up
Let's
with the
put
game.
that thing in perspective.
Yes.
That was not my story.
What was
the
your
office,
story?
I'm in the office.
Yeah.
I get a call from a friend called Sylvania Ambani from Nation. And says, Kenyans want to comment about this photo of some gay lions. And I'm like, gay lion? I was not even in the picture. She goes on. And I say, we don't regulate lions. Or animals, for that matter. But she says, but you see, you had just banned the Disney cartoon, gay channel.
Yes.
So they see that context. So I tell her, look, I am not aware, but I may need to get the bio of these lions to know if truly they were male, two male mounting each other. This is watershed. But she used those words. So she goes on. And I say, okay, if it is true, there are 2 male lions doing that kind of act, they want to be isolated, and a study needs to be conducted. And I also suppose they have watched these things from some Muzungu guys, tourists, behaving badly in the park. It went viral. It was a casual talk. I didn't even know I was being recorded. What? It was subterfuge. In journalism, that crime where you record people secretly is called subterfuge.
Correct.
It's a serious crime. So I was not warned, but the story picked its own line.
And it went viral.
It was in 5 international magazines.
What?
There's a Mzungu who called us, and he's doing a PhD, and he wants to know my perspectives about animals and same-sex intimacy and stuff like that. Find it so funny. I think Mzungus are obsessed with vanity. I think there's a sense in which they have gone to the extreme with vanity, with sex and all this. And actually they are coming back right now, and the conference we're having tomorrow, we are people from Hollywood and Bollywood. And I can tell you, the entire world is looking on Africa, and Kenya in particular, as the cradle of humanity. And they want now to have themes that talk about values, about our culture, stuff that is rich with content, because they have gone into vanity about sex, about same-sex marriage and stuff, and they find these things are not selling. They have hit the ceiling, and now they want to come back to the real stories in Africa. They want to talk about to change the narrative, to talk about our values and the things that make Africans tick, the values of hard work, resilience. And these are the things I stand for.
Wonderful.
Positive values.
Well, Dr. I hope they're not going to hijack it with these themes or these things that just...
No, not quite. Not quite. We selected the speakers very well. As a matter of fact, the key speakers are from France. I traveled to Paris. In fact, immediately after I came to this show, I traveled to the film Cannes Film Festival in Nice. And while in Nice at the Cannes Festival, I got a call from the CNC in Paris. And I took a 5-hour train to Paris and did a meeting. Actually, it was a holiday, but they opened the offices to receive Kenya. That's how serious we are viewed out there. And during a holiday, they opened the offices. We had a discussion, and they said, look, we realize we have an embassy in Nairobi, and the reports we are getting is that we have a challenge of Kenyans going to the theaters. And we have a very good model. In France, last year, they sold 165 million tickets to the theaters. 165 million tickets. Wow. In Kenya, we sold 34,000. We have the numbers, we have the population, we have the content, but people don't go to the theaters. And I found that interesting, because if there's demand for content, for people to go and view, and if people are going to the theaters, then our creators will create more, our filmmakers will have more market. So I told them, why don't we come? Why don't we partner together and establish a platform where we can share views, where our artists can come together, the filmmakers, and we see what can we do. And the government, how can we interest our Kenyans to go to the theaters? Because as they do so, we are watching our own stories.
So remember, what is the secret, Dr.
The secret, I think, lies in exciting our people to learn, to watch our own stories. I think we need to create some interest about our stories. And Jeff, the stories are there. You've seen Kenya. Kenya's had about 3 Oscar winners. I think the Lupita and we had a recent girl, Matrid Nyaga, just recently.
Yes.
She won the Oscars with Watuote. And I'm told in the 50s there was another guy who won an Oscars. But the thing is, Jeff, we are not short of creativity. We are not short of artists who can do great stuff. What we lack is harmonized policy between the private sector and the government coming together. And that's why I've started that concept of Cinema Mashinani. I'm working with View Sasa. I want to pump View Sasa with content that is about, in vernacular, speaking about our culture, our values, and we want to excite our people. I want people to know where Jeff came from, the struggles, and I watch your videos. I always post them on
a story a day.
Stories you are giving about, your struggles. Jala, you are here. You are an inspiration. Victor Wanyama, because the richest people in the world today, they're either in sports or in the knowledge economy, entertainment, what you guys are doing. And we want to excite our kids to know they can be the next Jeff Koinange or the next Jalango. And the moment you begin to make these stories look relevant to them, that they can make a movie, or they using their talent, they can live well, they can drive a big car, they can live in a good house. Content and creativity must make sense. But if the examples they know is about Mzee Ojwang, fall sick, and he has got to be, we've got to fundraise, got to bury me Langata, very sad story, tragic stories about great creatives who have died miserable. That does not inspire our kids.
Absolutely.
So the issue is turning the story and focusing the cameras on Jeff and Jalas and others who are making it in the industry.
Changing the narrative.
Yes.
By
then
the way,
my son will be inspired. He want to be like Jalango.
You know, Daktari, I was at the National Theatre for more than 10 years.
Yes.
Working at the National Theatre. I actually had my office at the National Theatre.
You are barely making it.
My friend, the struggles that artists go through the National Theatre. You understand?
Yeah.
Mostly first, very few people want to take art as a career. See, what they tell you is, I'm here as I wait for something else to do.
Yes.
So from the word go, the passion in it is not there. Some of them just want to be famous. Some of them just want to pass by. It is something your parents take you or you decide to do
when there's nothing else for you to do.
There's nothing else.
Before you go to your real dream.
You understand?
Yes.
But then this narrative now is going to change almost everything, how people have perceived this.
Yes.
And I want to actually thank you for taking this, to bringing this conference down here at home. And it's going to be a very big eye-opener to most artists. I hope that you've invited some of the artists so that they can be part of this.
Not some. We have about 200 spaces.
All right.
We have invited every association, from the Actors Guild to the filmmakers, to the distributors, to the broadcasters, all the sectors. We are getting 30, 20, 10, every association, because we can't, of course, invite everybody individually. But let me tell you, Jalas, what you have said is true. When I was the Secretary General of Kenya Union of Journalists from 2001 to 2007, we had a scenario where even journalism, it was for people who have nothing else to do. People who are not as learned, there was not much money. I worked for the Nation Media Group, the biggest media house in East and Central Africa, for 9 years, and I could not afford a car. But I used to tell guys, what I'm doing, will change these things, and in another 10, 20 years, journalists will be rich and they'll be driving big cars. And you guys living it, and you enjoying it. And there are many journalists today, out of their talent, who are living well. But in my time, and Jeff, you remember when you were in KTN, there was nothing much to write home about.
We were struggling.
It was struggle. We would write big stories. I remember how I used to carry my newspaper in a matatu, you know, with the glory of the byline, a story by Ezekiel Mutua, but in a matatu hanging there, squeezed by people. And I used to imagine, and I used to tell the members of KUJ that a time will come when journalists will be at par with the rest of the careers. We have changed this narrative now. The industry has grown. With the new platforms and digital migration, with new radio and TV stations, guys, now we have the opportunities. So this is what I'm doing now at KFCB.
Wow.
I'm turning the leaf to say that this is one place where you can make money. The richest people in the world are in this sector. There is no America without Hollywood.
Correct.
There is no India without Bollywood.
Yep.
Closer to home, Nigeria. Nollywood has changed the entire narrative of Nigeria, even the branding of the country, and it's the second highest contributor to the GDP of that country, second to oil. Wow. And in a very short time. We can do it here in Kenya. We have internet penetration, we have ICT platforms. When I see things like View Sasa, new platforms for content distribution, we can hype the 40 to 6% local content and make our people make money. Talent pays, and I'm saying film is serious business. You can get into sports, and the beauty of it, Jalas and Jeff, you don't need a degree. You don't need to go to Kisumu and be subjected to that Halloween experience you're talking about by Professor Nyang
and company.
In this sector, you come with your talent. Come with your talent. And we have created a platform under Cinema Mashinani where we create symposium. We go to the village and just fine-tune villagers there and act in their own vernacular. Turn Jeff's family into a cast. Mzee, mama, nini, use your household, compensate you 15,000, but make a movie. Out of that movie, you have royalties that are going to accrue to you in your lifetime and 50 years after death. We've done one in Court Simale, in Isiolo. We are now going to Kisumu. We are doing at the coast. Dan Kazungu, the Minister for Mining, is so passionate about making the coastal region like the Cannes Festival. If you remember California, Cannes, they are all along the beaches. And now we are teaming up with Dan Kazungu, Dr. Governor Mutua, Dr. Mutua of Machakos, and our CS and the PS to turn the coast into a festival scene where every year we'll be celebrating our culture and our values, and we'll be bringing people from across the world. This is how you can attract incentives and money into this country. So I want to promise the young people of this country that there is a new dawn.
Wow.
There's a new dawn. And you know, I'm a blessed man. Everything I touch prospers.
Turns to gold.
Yeah. This industry will prosper.
At the conference, what do we expect?
We expect, first of all, the top government. I'm not allowed to mention who is going to open, but it's top government tomorrow at the Safari Park. We have guests from America, from France, from India, from Nigeria, from about 30 countries who are coming to this conference.
What do you mean you can't say who's opening? I mean, what's the secret?
Well,
if the president is coming, so you just say it.
Well, until I get it in writing sometimes. I was just talking to Big Ted. I was climbing up here, so allow me not to say who will open.
But let boss come.
Boss will be great.
But it's great. We're going to have cabinet secretaries. CS Mosheru was confirmed. Dan Kazungu will be there. Nice. CS Balala would have been there, but I'm told he's climbing Mount Kenya.
He's halfway up some mountain.
Balala, please come back.
The PS will be there. There will be about 5 CSs. Governor Mutua will give the keynote speech, and the cabinet secretary will be reacting to that and setting the tone.
And your theme is taking the audiovisual film industry in Africa
to the next level. And what we want, Jeff, is to turn the Eastern Africa bloc into a market. Our numbers is a strength. Why Nigerians are prospering in the film, they're using their numbers, over 200 million people. We want to turn the East African bloc into a market.
Which is 150 million people
exactly.
plus.
So we have the numbers.
You have numbers.
And then We are advantaged. We have Swahili. Kiswahili language is a strength. We can do films for ourselves about us and use the region and the numbers to market our content. And I can tell you, with the digital migration, with the spread of the internet that we have in this country, the sky is the limit. Jeff, M-Pesa has sold like none, no other. It's a model that is being used in other countries.
Correct.
It's made here. We can make film sell the way M-Pesa sold.
Tell me something, Dr. When you at Cannes, how did the film Neophobia do, the Kenyan film?
Absolutely well. It was actually the most celebrated. It has now been picked for the Oscars, I think. And I think it's going places. I funded the crew, the entire crew. I traveled with them at our own cost. KFCB invested to expose them, and this is what we are doing with artists in this country. We've taken crews to India, we've taken crews to Hollywood, and there are many that we are sending all over the country to get exposure, to interact. And now we are bringing this forum here in Kenya, bringing top artists from across the globe. South Africa is arriving at 3 this afternoon. They have a very robust film industry, and we want them to come and share experiences with our guys. We want our guys to network, get into co-production, because what happens, Jeff, if you do a film like Lupita Nyong'o did 12 Years a Slave with these big guys, that is an incentive, that's an inspiration. It sells more when it's Ezekiel Mutua, with Jeff. The big names in the industry, in the Hollywood, in Bollywood, will help our guys to get to the market, to the international market. So this is why we are bringing this industry together and bringing the big guys from all over the world to come and inspire our people.
Dr. What are you doing to just making film in this country cheaper and exciting to producers and the big producers who come in? We've had situations where filmmakers want to go to other countries than come into Kenya.
They prefer
because the licenses are crazy. The licenses are crazy.
You're right.
That even taking of photography in town. The other day, Sonko said, let no photographer be harassed. But just the other day, they were making films at Uhuru Park. They were being arrested.
And asked for the licenses.
Being asked for the licenses and being told, what are you doing here? Where are your licenses even to shoot and things like that. And I was just telling Jeff yesterday, stories about a place like Dubai. Dubai didn't have to go out selling itself big. But the people who went to Dubai took photos and shared having a good time.
It sold itself.
Can you imagine if just photography and film in Kenya was cheaper, or even at no cost? We are still struggling here. Why should I, a filmmaker, be paying crazy licenses just to shoot maybe a small skit that I want to share?
Jalangu, you're right. This International Film Convention starting tomorrow is the turning point. We're bringing the government and the private sector together to share experiences, and we are bringing the national community to give us models that we can use. This will be the turning point. It's not just a workshop. It's a meeting that will come up with recommendations that will inform policy, will inform training, will inform creation of content. And one of the things that we want to do, and that's why Governor Mutua is coming in, we want to get counties to stop charging extra licenses. I've written to the Council of Governors, because film licensing or filming license is a national function. It belongs to KFCB. The moment you get a filming license from KFCB, when you go to Kajiado or to Narok or to Machakos, you should not pay another filming license. It's like the lawyers. If a lawyer's LSK certificate, when you go to Kisumu, you don't need to go and get another one from the county or Mombasa. It's a national function. Same with the architects, with accountants, and so on. So we are saying filming has never been taken seriously. And we want to bring everybody together. We have been operating in silos, the private sector blaming the government blaming these guys. And we lacked a platform where we can come together, reason together, and come up with the recommendations that will make this industry competitive, the Kenyan film industry competitive, so that we don't lose movies to South Africa. The reason they go to South Africa, they are better rebates, they give incentives to their artists. You make a movie there, you are refunded your money. If you want to get there with equipment, you are supported. And we have now a film policy that is lying before cabinet. So tomorrow probably we'll be getting a declaration on the way forward in terms of how this can be moved fast-tracked, so that artists in this country can make money.
Dr. It's been very frustrating over the years. Even recently, the movie about Westgate.
Yes.
going down to South Africa.
Well, we got it back.
Did we get it
Jeff,
back?
It didn't go.
What
didn't
about
go.
the one called Eye in the Sky?
The one from the Kibera?
No, yeah. Westgate.
We had Westgate with Richard Leakey's film.
Yes.
And now there was Kennedy Odede with the Kibera story that they were creating a slum in South Africa and calling Kibera. It was really frustrating. The thing is, we are not as competitive as a market. We are not. That's the truth. Our policies are incoherent. They do not speak to each other. The county governments are charging multiple licenses. And if you want to do a film here, there are so many frustrations. One of the things that are brought to the fore, and I'm not blowing my trumpet, although Ida Amin one time said it is trumpet, so
you can blow it.
Can blow it. I have brought the conversations to the fore. I may not have achieved much, but I've made people discuss film. I'm making people discuss film policies, and I'm making them think Kenya and how we can make it competitive. And I'm so excited that ministers, cabinet secretaries are coming on board. Honorable Dan Kazungu is in mining, but if you see the passion in the papers that guy has written, you'll be shocked. Governor Mutua is thinking film and the creatives. He wants us to set up a film studio in Machakos. We're working with Ken Mulei with the film studios in Langata. We are coming together and we are saying we can change this. Only if we work together. People are operating in silos, producers alone, broadcasters. Now I'm bringing them together at Safari Park. Government will be there, private sector, all the practitioners. And we are saying out of Safari Park Convention, the IFC, we will come up with recommendations that will make Kenya as competitive as South Africa, if not better.
Dr. Ari, we're speaking to Dr. Ezekiel Mutua, the CEO of the Kenya Film and Certification Board. We're talking about a new forum starting tomorrow all the way to Friday. It's a game changer, Dr. Ari says. Game changer. And I'm glad, Dr. Ari, you appreciate that View Sasa is also a game changer. Let's take a break, come back, maybe even go to the phones, Jalas.
Actually, one of the main speakers will be George Waitito.
Oh,
yeah, I visited him.
Yes.
One of our key speakers at the convention, and it will be that concept of View Sasa.
View Sasa. Thank you, sir.
Join the world of View Sasa Entertainment and enjoy the videos you love. SMS the word View Sasa to 40984. Choose your preferred package plan. Select the amount for your chosen package plan, then click Next. View Sasa, connecting you to the videos you love.
You're now rocking with the best, man.
It's the Hot Breakfast with Jeff and Jelano.